Hello, Adam Bazalgette here, founder of Scratch Golf Academy. I'm at the beautiful club at Mediterra in Naples, Florida. Today's subject, owning an effortless golf swing. Wouldn't we all like to do that? Well, hey, listen, there has to be some effort, some tension in it, but how much is too much and where? We'll look at 3 areas of the golf swing where I think you can work through it and help yourself, and a couple of overall keys that I know will help you. Briefly, if you're new to Scratch Golf Academy, you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you do that. Hit the bell there. Also, you'll be notified every time brand new content's coming your way. Also, we have an app, free app at the App Store, Scratch Golf Academy, lots of training tools, wonderful stuff you can take to the range, tempo, warm-ups, etc. Hope you pick that up. Okay, we said we'd look at 3 areas of the golf swing. We're going to begin with takeaway here. Also said we'd make a couple of points. Point number 1, your mind is ingeniously wired up for efficiency in these motor programs. So picture the difference. For instance, if you pick up a heavy suitcase or you reach down on a table and pick up, say, a hairbrush, something like totally different sort of weights, you instinctively know it. You'd never apply the kind of force, body language, tension to picking up a hairbrush as you would a suitcase. So people rarely tap into that when they play golf though. So think about it this way as regards the takeaway. How heavy is this club? If you have one at home, hold it there, not very heavy. So hey, certainly I want a little resistance in my legs, a little bit of control over the club, but just process for yourself, how much effort am I putting out to get this backswing started? Giving golf lessons all day, you see people moving around, and nothing like the equitable amount of effort and tension that it would take to move a golf club in a takeaway. It's possible you have too little. You might need just a little more structure to give yourself that form. Check that out though. Let's move on. We'll look at a pro here. We'll examine the end of the backswing. Rory McIlroy there. So what I want you to notice is the great timing in the different areas. Obviously the club has a huge arc to swing in, but if you look more at his upper back, shoulders and hands, they move quite a bit. Look at his legs, relatively little. But if you keep your eye more down on the legs, there's still some give in the lower back and hips. There's some movement in the legs all the way to the top. Just beautiful timing. Watch on the right there where that moderate amount of lower body movement matches perfectly, finishes perfectly with the completion of the club and upper trunk. So that's what gives these swings this effortless look, is there isn't any wasted motion in there. That's why they're so great. Hope you'll check out scratchgolfacademy.com. There's a whole free part at the website there for you. But just if it's of interest, for those that choose to become life members, I kick off your membership with a free in-depth personal video analysis of your swing and offering coaching advice and personally demonstrated drills. Hope you check that out, scratchgolfacademy.com. All right, great looking golf swing there, great image for us. Now, he's moving his hands from about here to about there, couple 2.5 feet or so. Obviously, top of the head staying fairly still. Let's say another context in everyday life. I'm reaching up for a cup or a plate or something. As I reach up there, my mind tells me, you're not quite tall, you're not going to get to that shelf. It will begin to add just a little bit of extension or stretch in the body. And finally, if necessary, maybe just a little bit of a tippy toe sort of a look, but it will happen in that sequence. You'd never see anybody go for a plate and extend and find they've done it too much and they don't have to reach as high. The mind doesn't work like that. So tap into the genius of the mind, get the club out of your hands and say, hey, what does it take for me with the top of my head fairly still, reasonable balance, to simply move my arms that far? Takes a bit of pivot. You'll notice, if you can get out of your own way, that you'll get just the right blend so that there's just that little stretch, as we saw the pro timed in with the end of it. It's such a much better look, so much more repeatable. Now, point number 3, or area number 3 of the golf swing, is around impact. We'll talk about that in just a moment. I want to give you a little bit more of a mental tip number 2 from that angle. Okay, little tip here before we move to 3rd area of the golf swing, and that is, you've got to become more aware. These are subtle things in your body. You've got to get out of your own way and start to figure out a little bit about what's actually happening in your swing. Stop trying so hard. So don't let the ball give you so much energy. I'm telling you, when I teach golf, it is about at 100% when someone happens to make good contact, they turn around and say, that was good, right? I did it well. And if they don't, if they really hit a bad one, oh, no good, don't count that. In other words, they have no idea what's going on in their golf swing. All they do, it's like a drug. They react to solid contact and they interpret wrongly. Usually, if I hit it solidly, I did everything right. Quiet your mind, get rid of the thoughts. If you need to hit the ball at less than full speed, do that. Rehearse something, and then just hit a shot one area of your swing, let's say the end of the backswing. let's say, let me just experience what's going on in there, see what you notice. That is, awareness is the key to making substantive change. Have one more little tip on practicing this at the end of the video. Okay, impact. Certainly there's squaring the club face and hitting it solidly, but we're just talking basic delivery of the golf club with a few assumptions that you're in a decent position. You need a combination of two things. You need a certain amount of snap and transfer of energy, if it's any kind of a full shot, but you also need a little bit of firmness at impact. If that club's just flipping all over the place, you're not going to have the best combination. You see this in baseball, bat soft, bat loads, but at impact, firm there. Tennis, the same sort of an idea. So it's certainly doable. So you have to play around with it, of course, is what you have to do. So I've got an 8-iron, get something like that. It depends what your error is, of course, but develop maybe some swings where you have excessive flip of the hands or softness of the wrist. And I'm getting it from my body. I'm not using my hands independently, but I feel a tremendous amount of pop. And then take one with a little bit less of that and firm up for a short finish. See, that felt a lot more solid. I could feel my glutes and abs tight, my arms, my triceps dig in a little against my ribs. Play around with it to find what you're looking for. What do you need? You need a bit of both. So play around with that, you'll find it out. Now, one final tip. Mentally, you will do yourself a power of good in this thing for your long-term health of your golf game, especially set up to top of backswing. If you get the club in your hands away from the golf course sometimes, get in front of a mirror, probably away from the golf course, work through these things. They're just not that difficult. If you'll just create some feel and some awareness, what's going on in my body, you'll have something concrete really ready to take to the range, and you have a much better chance of making progress. Hope this helps you.